What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pancis. If it's your first time tuning in, please be sure to smash the subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. If you guys haven't been following the channel, on this 2002 Saab 9.3 convertible, we rebuilt this thing many years ago already. It's about 6 years ago already. This year will be 6 years. And recently, I changed the valve cover gasket, and I seem to continue to have some oil leaking from the top valve cover. You guys can see right here there's some oil along the way, and it's actually making its way down and leaking to the bottom. So in today's video, we're going to try to address this one more time. We're going to actually pull this off, and you guys can see I have some oil dripping here and there's a screw missing. Well, that's because this hole has been stripped, the aluminum has been stripped out, and I have one more that's stripped out over here. So I'm gonna go to the store and we're gonna try to find a little bit thicker of a screw to go in there, and we're gonna just re-tap the hole and try to see if we can salvage it so we can torque down a new screw and try to fix this. And then I'm gonna also show you guys some super clean products. You guys can pick up super clean at any local store, so I wanted to show you guys like a commercial grade product that actually works, in my opinion, really well. I've used it a couple times already on the channel, but today we're gonna just kind of show you like a before and after view of its effects on the vehicle, whether it is engine degreaser and or tire cleaner, tire rim cleaner. So let's hop into this. I'm gonna run to the store while this engine's cooling off because I just drove it here and it is hot. So we're gonna let it cool, and then we'll go ahead in there and try to fix and figure this out. I have an extra screw laying around, so I'll take that as my point of reference, and hopefully we can figure this out. All right, boys, this thing's been cooling down. It's still warm, but obviously nowhere near as scorching hot as it was earlier, so we're gonna get to work on this. I went to the store. Of course, we ended up purchasing more things than we needed to, and I also just got a new valve cover just because, and I've never seen a blue one, so that should be interesting to get on there. And let's see, blade clean, and then I ended up buying some bolts, fresh bolts for the two holes that are stripped. I ended up going with the same width and the same length, but just different thread count, different thread widths. So hopefully, since the holes were still, the threads were still fairly, they're like kind of working, but kind of not, and the holes weren't super expanded, I'm just gonna go ahead and re-tap the existing holes with the same width and length, just with a different thread count. So we got fresh bolts for that. We got our tapper out, so we're gonna get this thing disassembled here, and then we'll go ahead and degrease everything and pray to God that this doesn't start leaking again. All right, boys, so pretty straightforward. I've done this before many times on the channel. Just remove the cassette, unplug it, and then remove the harnesses out of the way, and then just unbolt the Torx bits. Pretty straightforward. Let's rock it out. So guys, it's a good thing we bought a new gasket because this thing did not make it through. Again, I don't understand what's going on, but this is the cause of our problems. All right, so we wiped off the oil that was on the edges here. I'm gonna go ahead, clean up this valve cover real quick, and then we'll go ahead and just start working on retapping this hole and this hole. The rest of them are fine, so let's keep up making sure that the rest stay fine. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna clean up the holes a little bit here before we tap. Just run a little degrease here with this. Clean it up. Looking good. All right, let's get the tapper. See how we do. Nope. We're gonna have to go bigger. It's not gonna work. So stay tuned. I gotta run back out. All right, guys, so I am back from the store. I went ahead and I just got a longer bolt, and then I actually bought a nut to fix that. So what I'm gonna do, since I don't want to go and retap these holes and risk cracking the aluminum on this head, is I went ahead and I just grabbed a longer screw bolt by a 1/2 inch and the bolt, or the nut, so we can just capture it on the other side and just play it that way and play it safe. I don't want to crack the head and have more of an issue, so we're just gonna go this route for now. The front is easy, obviously. The side here by the air box, which I'll show you. Front by the air box, obviously this is in the way, so we're just gonna pop this off, move it out of the way, and then I'll be able to access this hole here since that one is a little bit stripped. So let me just facilitate installing this gasket onto the valve cover, and then we'll go ahead and just reinstall this. Cross our fingers and hope that this works. So I had to take a little break just for a second to show you guys. I was a little skeptical of buying this when I saw blue. I've never seen blue valve cover gasket, but this is probably one of the most interesting, probably most effective way to do a gasket. You see these little squiggles in here, guys? Those squiggles are designed in the frame of this gasket to help hold this in place when you go to flip it. So all of this stuff is nice and secured, and obviously this will not affect the seal because obviously the gasket's the gasket, right? So just like, you know how I normally take, if you guys haven't watched previously, I normally take floss and I screw down and tie down each hole. But in this scenario, I actually don't really need to do that. I'll probably just secure this side here and this front side since it's a little bit loose, and the rest should stay right in place, which is really amazing. So let's do that. All right, guys, so moment of truth here. All right, guys, so we're gonna degrease the engine with this super clean. I'm gonna just show you how well it works. Before we spray it, I just want you guys to see all of the oil stains everywhere, mainly down there. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but along the rail there by the head gasket, right where my finger is, it's all greasy. Again, greasy right there. So we're just gonna spray down the whole thing, let it sit for a minute, and then we'll actually just I'm gonna take a little bit of a brush just to agitate some of this. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the the belt. Had that happen before, so I'll let you guys know how that works here. All right, so I'm just gonna agitate some of this area here. See how this plays out. You can see how it turned brown in certain areas here, so it's kind of, you can see it kind of working. Let's see down in here. Get it nice and clean. I sprayed underneath the engine area too. Let's see. Guys, so I'm just gonna wash the outside of the car real quick. I started this to let it dry up, and you guys can already see a little bit of the improvement in how the engine looks. So just let that run, and I'm gonna use some super clean on the rims here. You guys can see how well this thing degreases the rims, and then we'll wash up the car and call it a day here. Look at that. It's like working magic. You can see it turning everything kind of brown. It's interesting. This one's pretty bad back here too. Get the brush. Let's see, we got some fresh water here. There we go. Our brand new brush I just bought. Let's see how we do. Oh yeah, you can see that. Getting all the grime off the tire. This thing's gonna look nice. Very good. See how she looks, guys. Now look, any soap or water can go ahead and make your rim look nice and clean, but what really is nice about this stuff is it agitates the grease and the grime. It kind of seemed to lift it up as soon as I started spraying, which makes it a little bit easier to get clean. So there's that. You can see on the back how it's already looking clean. So I'm just gonna brush that off, call it a day on this. All right, so before I wrap up this video, guys, I didn't wash the car yet, but I did finish the rims, and I will say, after I did it on the other side, that super clean stuff, the degreaser clean, actually lifted the debris, and I just sprayed down the wheel, and it, you know, pretty much eliminated most of the dirt, which is pretty awesome. But of course, I went ahead and took the brush to it anyways, just to take a step further. But that's how well it actually worked, by lifting the debris off of the wheel and separating it. I just turned off the engine. It's been idling. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this area here was super greasy earlier, and everything looks really nice. In fact, I really do enjoy the blue gasket, and everything down there is less greasy now. It's all cleaned up. I'm sure there's still debris, but you know, again, I got it probably 70% better than what it was, so that's good. Whatever was leaking down there is no longer a problem, and everything up front here is nice and secured. Our bolts that I put in there are looking good, so hopefully this valve cover gasket stops leaking. So, but I will drive this car home. And before we wrap it up, I'll give you guys one last update in this video on that to make sure it is solid, so stay tuned. All right, boys, so we just ripped it home, and looks like we have a successful seal now on everything. So my little situation on the two bolts here is working. There is no oil seepage anywhere along the edges, and since we cleaned everything nicely earlier, you can see that it just remained clean all the way around the engine. So we should be all set and having no more oil leaking. So that is a wrap. Thanks to Super Clean for sending me some product to try out. I give you guys some of the results, and it works really nicely for something you can go pick up at your local store. So if you guys need something degrease wise, wheel cleaner, engine degreaser, etc., check it out at your local parts store, Walmart, etc. Stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you guys next video.